Hey guys, it's week 37. This is your final. Now, obviously, this is not the normal final I would have assigned you guys, but here we are. So, this is a modified version. Your final assignment here is a version something my wife actually did for her kids that was itself modified for me, an assignment I used to give some years back. So, we got kind of a nice amalgam thing. So this is a vacation assignment. So I'm just going to read you instructions here. This is a combined Econ World History final with elements from both subjects being integrated. Now, I like to do this, and I've done this in the past. I didn't do it last year, but years before that, because I'm big on travel. Travel to me is a very important thing, in part, and I highly encourage it because psychological studies have shown that one of the most efficient uses of money that increases overall happiness are to take international vacations to other cultures. They found that there is a wealth of mental health benefits for international travel. And no, guys, that doesn't mean like going back to like visit your grandparents, okay, in, Mexico or some other Central or South American country. It means going to places you've never been or cultures that are completely different from yours, whether it's your culture at home or your culture in and around your neighborhood or your country. This is places you've never gone to, with completely different social systems. So there's all kinds of benefits. They find that one of the most dollar for dollar uses is going to see incredible sights, especially because America. Let's be honest, the United States, we don't really have a good, interesting historical historical geography to go to. Like, there's a lot of really pretty national parks in the United States, and I love going to them. But we don't have a lot of like great architecture or sites. If you're going to go see battle sites, there's really only Pearl Harbor on the West Coast, well, the islands. And if you go to the East Coast, you can go to like Civil War sites, but they're all basically just grass. There's not a whole lot to see. It's not like Europe where you can go see castles or, the Great Wall of China or like beautiful Buddhist temples or mosques. It's a considerable limit compared to most other parts of the world. So, they found there's a whole host of benefits, short-term and long-term, for your happiness and mental health. So I always highly encourage that. So you guys will now plan in a final exercise of adult level tasks. Planning a real, thoroughly detailed vacation is a thing we do. Now, Econ Kids, you kind of did a very small version of this way back at the beginning of the semester, but it was kind of haphazard because that was when I had to leave for a couple days on emergency, and it was just a whole thing. So most of you didn't really do a whole lot, or it wasn't very detailed. This is a much more detailed version. So let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. So you got your general directions. You have a $10,000 budget. Now this is based on mine and my own wife's experiences. Usually we spend about $8,000 to $10,000 when we would take a 2-week vacation, and that's 2 weeks of relatively mid to mid-high level expenditures. Like, we're eating in nice restaurants, but not the nicest. We fly coach. We do not fly first class. Hotels are nice, 3-star hotels, but we're not in 4-star hotels. So things like that. So you have $10,000. You cannot do a camping vacation or a cruise ship. So this is like actual, like real legitimate international travel. Okay. Please note, there's no limit to the number of days. It's just when you run out of money. I miss those days of vacations. They also have to make sense. Like, if you can't do like Japan and India. Like, that does not make a lot of sense. The amount of money you'd spend on airfare alone is just insane. In contrast, though, you can do a Euro trip that doesn't really cost more because you can get what's called a Euro Pass, or maybe it's a Euro Rail Pass. I don't remember what they call it these days. That lets you take trains throughout the entirety of the continent. So all these countries are next to each other. They're only an hour or two by high-speed train. That's not a huge deal. That makes sense. That's easy to do. I've done that. So keep those kinds of things in mind. All right, so you've got 7 sections. You have flights. So I, would recommend using like kayak.com. That's the one we use. Hotels, there's a hotel.com. Rental car, a lot of these you can find on like Expedia, Travelocity, all these kinds of websites. Oh, wife had a typo there. All these kinds of websites, they have all this information for these first 3. Now, you may not need rental car. Instead, you notice this says an and or, you might have public transportation. For instance, I've never rented a car in a foreign country because I always travel to countries that have really good trains. Or, if you have to, you can also take the bus sometimes to smaller destinations. So I've actually never rented a car in another country because I haven't had to. A lot of places have good public transportation. Some won't, and you will have to worry about renting a car. Food. So this is just kind of a general one. So you're essentially going to look up one restaurant as an example of what this stuff would look like. And then after that, so this is just so you get an actual idea of exactly what an actual restaurant would be like in a foreign country, and then go ahead and just take care of the budget. Remember, guys, just like in the United States, most restaurants have their menu with prices up. You do need to find one entertainment or historical site. So, Econ Kids, you can do something entertainment venue, like go to see, I don't know, an Arsenal Football Club match or something. Sophomores, you got to do a historical site. So, Stonehenge, or a castle, or a museum, or a really old important church or cathedral. So you got to do something historical. Okay, that's kind of the one big difference limit here. Econ Kids, whichever one you want. Okay, and then of course you're going to summarize all this up, show us the general cost, and then create an itinerary. So an itinerary is a day-by-day plan. And yes, guys, this is something you generally want to do when you're doing, especially international travel, because you got to figure out roughly how much time do you need to do so. Now, these can always change. In fact, I've never had an itinerary that didn't change, either because we added stuff or we took stuff off or we decided that, hey, this place is so cool, we got to spend the whole day here, and we'll shift stuff around, or, we maybe change the order. I've never had it not change. Years of international travel. But you always want to have one as just kind of a basic plan. And I know some of you guys don't know how to plan, but consider this practice. So that's 7 sections, guys. You get up to 70 points, so it's basically 10 points per section. I know some sections are bigger than others, but obviously they build on each other. You can't really do sections 5, 6, and 7 without doing the first 4 sections. It just doesn't really work without knowing what your budget is. So, the more you do, the more points you get. And try to remember, guys, you're planning a possible legit vacation for your future, so have fun with it. Like, actually look up a place you want to go, okay, that's not in California or is not an obvious, like, go visit your relatives. That's boring. Your relatives are boring. Go see somewhere else. All right, guys, last bit of information, and this is also going to get put in a Blackboard either for tonight or tomorrow's delivery. Final due dates. Seniors, this is due by Wednesday, as is anything else that you haven't given me. If you want me to grade it, you got to get to me by Wednesday to bump your grades up. Grades are going to get turned in on Thursday. So you turn it in by midnight on Wednesday. Thursday morning when I get up at 4:45, 5 a.m., I'm going to start grading. Your grades will be submitted before the end of the day on Thursday. Excuse me. Sophomores, you guys have a little longer. And keep in mind, guys, this is all as per the school's recommendation, which you can see right here, that the school over the weekend sent me after I'd already sent you guys the previous message when they recommend the dates. So I'm going by their recommendations. Sophomores, Monday the 25th, you can turn this in. Grades, turned in on Tuesday the 26th. Same thing. When I get up really early, I'll immediately start working on grades, and your stuff will be submitted before the end of the day on Tuesday. So there's nothing I'm giving you guys next week. There's no extra assignments. We are done. This is it. This is your final thing. You can do as much or as little as you like. Remember, guys, with the current decision, nobody's failing. Everyone's getting C's or above, even those of you guys that are straight F students. So look at it this way. You got one good year where you got to pass. Maybe next year try to build on that. But keep in mind, a C is still a C, and it's not like colleges aren't going to remember, oh yeah, 2020, that was the coronavirus year. Is a C really a C? So it's still, as always, going to be better to have B's or A's. So as per my previous grade policy that I sent out last week, guys, F's are going to equal C's, D's and C's are going to get turned into B's, and B's and A's will be A's. Okay, so if you already had an A, obviously I can't give you anything higher. If you had a B, I'm going to bump you up to an A. And, even with this whole fiasco and weirdness of grading going on, the fact is an A is always way better than a C when you're looking at or looking at high school transcripts for colleges or early entry level jobs. So try to keep those things in mind, guys. It's just one document. You all have your own copies. And if there are any questions, as always, go ahead and email me. I'm going to be a little more sporadic this week on office hours. I'm going to try to make as many as I can. I will definitely be on. I can't say definitely. I will hopefully be on as many as possible on Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays. But today, Monday, I do have a number of required things I have to do that make me leave the house. So we'll see what I can manage. All right, guys. That's it. I'll continue to have vlogs. I have one I've already posted today, and I'll continue them through Friday. And that will pretty much be it. I will probably do a final farewell video of some sort on, probably next Monday, I would guess. Maybe the end of this week for the seniors. We'll have to see. Alright, guys. That's it for today.